Do you have any idea what this is sort of in relation to?
Yeah. Shotgun and firearms.
Yes, aye. So I think
Home CCTV captures the conversation between officers and pest controller Daniel Maddock. He thinks they're there to talk about his firearms application. No, they're there to charge him for providing false information. In other words, lying on his forms.
Totally taken back by it. I genuinely thought they were there just to check my cabinet and have a little chat, and then for them to then turn around and say, "Oh, we've come to take your air rifle and take your licence off you." It was like, what's going on?
so. I've been asked to actually charge you. Charge you with a couple of offences.
What?
So,
You sound pretty shocked.
I was, yeah. So, but apparently there's something in my GP medical record which I didn't know about that I didn't disclose, and all this has come from this. I didn't know what was in my medical record, so yeah, maybe.
So as far as you're aware, you filled out the form.
Yeah.
Your GP sent a form in.
Yep.
But those two, as far as Police Scotland are concerned,
Don't match up.
In Scotland, your GP sends your medical notes straight to the police, so he has no clue what the problem is.
It seemed simple at the start. Went to the GP, paid about £180 for my doctor's note, and yeah, that was in January, and I didn't hear anything until June.
okay.
As well as flying birds for his work, he also needs an air rifle. It was his boss who asked if he could add a firearms licence to his airgun licence, which is now a requirement in Scotland. Now he has neither. So what is the issue here? Daniel thinks, from conversations with the officers, plus a call from a national firearms officer, depression seems to be the issue, though he says he's never sought help for mental illness. His best guess is that it has something to do with being assaulted a few years ago and possibly asking for some physio on his legs.
2019, I got assaulted and I got a fractured skull, bleed on the brain, and that was one of the points that they pointed out, that I didn't declare this, which I didn't think was notifiable, that I got assaulted. To my knowledge, I haven't had any long-lasting effects from that, but apparently there's something in my GP form that is.
But there's no way to put that as such on the form?
Not that I'm aware, no.
No, okay.
No.
Okay. So they were suggesting that you've been deceitful and were relying on your,
Yeah,
on your form.
saying that I've not disclosed things that should have been disclosed, but how can you disclose something if you don't know about it?
Okay, but you've had some more information today, so tell me about that.
Yeah, so I got a phone call from the National Firearms Officer, and he said that that was one of the points that was on the list of his. And another point was that apparently on there I had reports of suicidal thoughts after a breakup, which I didn't think I had. That's news to me, that I was suicidal at one point, but I'm still here, so I must have been, it must have been that bad.
Yeah. Tell me what you think that might be. So that's of interest maybe for viewers.
The only thing I can think is that I've said something to the GP, like when they've asked me, "How are you?" and I've said, "Oh, not so good, I've just broken up with my girlfriend," and then that is the only thing I can think that's happened that could have led to suicidal thoughts being on my record.
But you went in for what?
I was going in to see if I could get my knees sorted. I've had osteoarthritis disease in my knees since I was a young lad, and I was wanting to get back into being fit again, and I was wanting to try and get some physiotherapy on my knees, see if I can get them sorted out.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So potentially a note was taken then that
possible suicidal thoughts, which I have never had. I've never had suicidal thoughts at all.
I've never had any mental health issues at all. Have you ever? You might have.
Did you ever discuss feeling low or suicidal?
As a Fieldsports member, he has also spoken to our friendly lawyer, Layla, and she says she'll advise him on the next steps once she gets to see the original medical report. The situation Daniel finds himself in is an inconvenience. What is really important is that those with firearms feel able to talk to their GPs about mental health issues. Thankfully, there are other ways of getting help if you need it.
When there is an issue about mental health or physical health, you can talk to us in confidence. we have Jamie's helpline, who you can talk to us about anything in confidence. We also have the Nurse Advice Clinic. You can just contact us, book an appointment online or by the phone at a time that's convenient to you and speak to a nurse. These are registered nurses, but they are not connected to the GP or your practice. So that is in confidence.
Here is the link to the Gamekeepers Welfare Trust, which offers a confidential helpline as well as support.